What is it? What's it about? And tell me what we can expect.
So it's a conference that really is looking at particularly the concert repertoire of African Americans, because I find so many times we don't talk about this music and put it in its context. Without knowing about this music, we're missing a part of the American story. African American composers from the Academy wrote about the experiences like Malcolm X's assassination or Martin Luther King from the perspective of the Black community. So you have popular musicians writing about it, jazz musicians, but you don't have white classical musicians writing about these same current and important events. You have Black composers who wrote about it. And so that's what this conference does. It celebrates the contributions of these people, but also it's highlighting, this year's conference is highlighting Willis Patterson. Willis Patterson, who will turn 90 years old this fall, was an important voice for all of us who went to Michigan. I did my doctorate at Michigan, and he was one of my mentors. But his legacy is that, first of all, he's from Ann Arbor, so it's celebrating someone who is a Michigan native, but also he became the first African American faculty member at the University of Michigan in the School of Music. So we're celebrating his life as a performer. He was an advocate for this repertoire. The reason that I'm doing what I do in African American music is because of the example that he set for us. He was important in terms of a 1963 opera by Menotti called Amahl and the Night Visitors. He pushed the NBC to cast a Black person in the role of the Black King, because previously it had always been shown with a white man in blackface. And so, as a young person, he's pushing. He was in 1963, he would have been, 50 years ago. So about a 40-year-old. So he's in the middle of his career, and yet he has the gumption to write to a major company and say, I don't agree with your choice. And so he pushed them. They held auditions, and he won the part.
How can we go to enjoy this conference, and where are we sending people to participate, and when is it going on?
Thank you. So it's at the University of Michigan, and it says African American Music Conference, I think is the title for the link. If you go click on it, September 18th to 20th. It's starting at 2 o'clock on the 18th with the radio broadcast of the music of Willis Patterson with Brad Cresswell on WBGE. Then it has a round table with three scholars, two deans, and a president of University of Richmond. I pulled in heavy hitters for this.
Yes.
That's what I always do, to have a conversation about diversifying the curriculum, which is a big issue for all of us now. So they're going to talk, who better than three people who have spent their lives in higher education to talk about what needs to happen within it. Then the third session that day is Willis Patterson is giving his papers to the Bentley Historic Library on the campus of University of Michigan. What it does is, this man who has been such a part of history, his papers will now be accessible to researchers for now and into the future.
How important is African American music, and how does it intersect with the things that we're facing today?
I think African American music is hugely important. Music is always important as a part of telling our cultural history, and why we cannot continue to operate under practices of systemic racism. We have got to learn this history. I teach a course in African American art song for the University of Michigan. It's the first time any school has asked me to teach them. I've taught at several schools. And one of the things that I found immediately was I have to teach the history of African Americans in order for students to even understand what this music is about. And so I think that having these composers who are marking this moment, and I mean in all forms, helping us to not only think about what this moment is for us, but helping those that are going to come after us to reflect on this moment. And I think that, you know, music is a salve to many people, and it is important, but it gives us a way of giving voice in a way other than this is a moment you want to just scream, and it gives you a creative outlet to express yourself, and that's what I'm hoping that all the musicians and all the artists are doing. We are marking this moment. We are helping the next generation know why we have to change this.